Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Eugene Day. Today I want to talk a little bit about applicant tracking systems and why you see so many people who have applied to thousands of jobs that they are eminently qualified for, but that they get absolutely no traction with. And this is something that I did not know 3 weeks ago, even as a hiring manager. And I would not know today, except for the fact that I'm working with a really great career coach who is helping me understand how people get jobs today. And even though I know a lot about how AI reviews resumes and why it's so challenging to identify qualified candidates, I had not really appreciated the HR side of things from the applicant's perspective before. As a hiring manager, all of that was shielded from me. And I knew that we were using applicant tracking systems. I knew that we were using them to evaluate resumes, but I didn't really see what it's like from the applicant's perspective. And I don't think even our HR truly sees what it's like from the applicant perspective. But now that I'm an applicant and I have access to these tools through the career coach that I got as part of my severance package, I am realizing just how stacked the deck is against applicants in the modern environment. So I'm going to show you a tool that I have access to that helps grade resumes for job positions. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what that's like. This is a tool called JobScan from Career Partners. This is not sponsored in any way. I have access to this through my severance package. This tool allows you to paste a job description and a resume, and it will compare the two to see how qualified you are for the job. My career counselor told me that you need to score at least 80% to be considered under most circumstances. If they're having a really difficult time identifying a candidate, they may drop to 70%. Now, what I've done is find a job for which I am very qualified, and I have my standard resume, and I'm going to prepare what they call a match report, and we will see how well the applicant tracking system would think I am qualified for the job. So this is a healthcare project manager position that I found on Indeed, and it is one that I am very qualified for. I'm capable of doing everything that this job requires, and I have done all of them in my career, and I have the experience and the education that this job is looking for. So now I take my resume and I enter it into the system and I do a match report. It scans my resume, it scans the job description, it compares them with AI, and we see that I get a 37% match. What did I do wrong? I don't have the job title precisely in my resume. It doesn't like the formatting of my dates. And when it looks at the hard skills, it doesn't think, based on reading my resume, that I have any of these skills. I have been a director of data science at a major academic hospital. I've managed projects. I've worked in healthcare administration and business administration. I have a doctorate in operations research and operations management. I have worked with information systems through project and program life cycles. I specialize in change management. I have used Gantt charts. Everything I do is about independent work, prioritization, organization, presentation, motivation, communication. I do all of these things in my day-to-day career. Everything in my career is qualified for this job, but I would never remotely be considered for it because the computer doesn't think my resume is a match because I didn't use exactly the right words in exactly the right places. I'm not qualified for this job. These tools are incredibly valuable for identifying exactly how to frame your resume so that you will be considered for a position. And you should seriously consider purchasing access to something like this. There's probably a dozen different firms that do this kind of thing, but don't just tailor your resume using AI. Don't just copy and paste. It's a highly specific process that you need to go through in order to come up with a good resume for each position that will get you considered. So that's what I have for you today. I hope it was illuminating. I know it was for me when I first learned it. And YouTube thinks you're going to like this video right here. I would love it if you would subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thanks a lot. Bye.